Hey guys, my name is X Factor. I hope you're having a great day. And thank you to DICE and EA for sponsoring my trip and sending me out to Sweden to go hands-on with some of your favorite YouTubers, live streamers, and other game changers for Star Wars Battlefront 2 beta build. And of course, some more feedback sessions with the developers that have been working on this project for quite a long time, and the game's come quite a long ways. More on that in a few moments. Because I know you've already got a couple questions lined up in your head. Where are we and when can I play Star Wars Battlefront 2? First, we're in the aquatic wet world of Kamino. Yes, the place that's responsible for the technology behind the clones, therefore the Clone Wars. Now, how about those beta dates? Well, there's actually two of them. If you believe in pre-ordering because you're a huge Star Wars fan or you like what you've seen so far, that date is October 4th. If you're not into pre-ordering, maybe money's tight, maybe you want to get your hands on the game, feel how it plays compared to the first one, or what's different, that date is October 6th. And it's all you can play. There are multiple maps, multiple modes, and a lot of new stuff that you guys haven't seen yet. As of now, according to DICE and EA, the beta is slated to end October 9th at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard, which is noon Eastern, which is around 5 o'clock in the afternoon if you're in London, and of course later if you're beyond that. But remember, DICE and EA have extended betas in the past, as you just saw me do a little bit of a combat roll, and that's one of the nice changes. You can combat roll in any direction, and there is a brief pause between returning your feet and allowing yourself to shoot. So it's more of an offensive, defensive juking maneuver. Maybe you're getting between cover to cover or getting into or out of cover. Just want to give a player a different look, but there most certainly is a penalty. Another good thing about Star Wars Battlefront 2 is there is no charge for DLC content. This is the first time that EA and DICE have tried this when it comes to Star Wars Battlefront or Battlefield. A lot of the games from DICE and EA have suffered from declining player counts and bifurcating the player base. Every time the DLC comes out, of course it's monetized. You can buy premium, which is a big bang, or you can buy the DLC for 15 bucks. Not a lot of people might be curious enough to throw the money out of their wallet. Therefore, the player base shrinks. And of course, the people that did buy the DLC are going to be playing the new stuff. They're not going to really be playing the base games as much. So what you see is the newest DLC might be hot, people might not be playing the older DLCs, the base game is rapidly shrinking. It's something, again, that we've seen with multiple DICE titles, including Battlefield 1 right now. So I'm super excited that when it comes to maps, modes, heroes, weapons, anything of that sort, there is no charge in Battlefront 2. Now, you might be saying, well, this game's pay to win. There is a monetization there. You can buy crates, just like you buy in any game, whether it's PUBG, Counter-Strike, Rainbow Six. But in Star Wars, there are star cards available, which can increase and customize your player's own abilities. We know something different with Emperor Palpatine yet? He's a bit more mobile. No longer is his dash set on one of his abilities. It's up and ready to go all the time. As you can see, my overheat mechanism kicking in because there's just too much lightning coming out of my fingers at this given moment. So there are the crates, which is a bit controversial depending on who you talk to. But me personally, I think it's the lesser of two evils. Whenever new content comes out for Star Wars Battlefront 2, everybody's got it. You just hit the download button and away you go. So anytime there's a new map, new mode, new hero, new anything, you're going to see massive numbers coming back to the game as long as it doesn't suffer the same fate as the first game. But the first game did lack content. It did lack replayability. It was super superficial and super repetitive. But the developers have learned a lot. They've changed some of the mechanics. They've really reworked the way some of the heroes work, what they can and cannot do. Then, of course, the different classes. Now, with the officer, you are buffing and healing people, and that mechanic may change over time because one of the things that we talked about in multiple feedback sessions was, hey, wait a minute, the officer can heal and buff people around him, but he can't heal himself. What about giving him a small tick heal so he can get back in the action? Another thing that they changed for the good is heroes don't regenerate health anymore. Once they get down to a certain point, around the 200 mark, they stay there. No officer can come in and save you with a heal. I think they can still overbuff you, but of course you lose that over time, or you lose that as you get zapped. There you see some of the mobility of Emperor Palpatine. I would love to show you more of Kamino on the inside, but unfortunately we weren't allowed to capture those specific moments because there's a couple things that weren't done. But I can assure you this. This is probably one of my favorite planets or maps that I played in my entire Battlefront 2 experience thus far, spanning over several events. So there you see my health creep up to 331. Now once it drops to 181, it's going to sit there and not recoup. So that's kind of a new mechanic to keep people from cheesing the heroes. I remember Star Wars Battlefront 2 doing like a crazy round of 78-0 with Boba Fett, with Jack Fragg's level cap, and with Timio just sitting in back. And I think that was post-wrist rocket nerf. You could just hover camp with them, just like you would a helicopter in previous Battlefield games. So the developers have been busy trying to fix some of the things that were pretty cheesy in the first game. And unfortunately, Palpatine goes down. Here you see a little bit of a tracer round, a map hack that does pulse in the shotgun. When it catches in the head, doesn't matter what class you are, you're probably dead. And that's one of the new things available for Star Wars Battlefront 2 to spice things up a bit, which is the classes. Different health pools, different weapons, different abilities, and customization. For instance, the Assault's rather squishy, 150 points, but when you pop a shotgun ability, he runs faster. When he kills somebody, he gets a bit of a heal back, and it refreshes the shotgun cooldown. So in essence, you could go on a 7 or 8 or 9-man kill streak if you get them in a back rage or from the side and go absolutely berserk. Now, it's one-shot central unless there's an officer buffing some of the heavies, and even then, again, I think if you catch him in the head, it's absolutely donezo. Mix that in with some of the combat rolls. You can hear the increased speed. You can see the cooldown next to my crosshair. It's a pretty nasty class if you can get behind people. And the damage isn't too bad from range. So, pretty fun class to play. I'll probably be playing a lot of it over the next couple days. The heavy's also a lot of fun, and of course can be a bastion of holding a flank or a lane. But of course there are the specialists, the snipers, and the officers, and all the different heroes which can still mess you up in a split second. When it comes to the vehicles that are available, obviously you see some green laser beams of death. We're going to jump in the LAAT in a second, and I'm pretty sure that is something that needs to be buffed as we're going in with the shotgun on the droid. It took me 4 rounds before I finally got a kill with the LAAT. We're going to explain how that works in a second. But for the most part, everything felt pretty balanced. One of my complaints for the game, much like the first one, is the grenade spam is pretty annoying still. The cooldowns feel way too fast. Depending on what star card you have and what class ability, it might be even quicker. But they did seem to nerf the radius, which is nice. And the crazy wrist rocket from the Gamescom or the EA play build got a little bit of a nerf. No longer are you going to hit a corridor and kill 2 or 3 people. You pretty much got to be Johnny on the spot as I get my first LAAT kill, and of course be more choosy with how you use them. Now, I can't just hold mouse button 1. This thing overheats extremely fast, but it does have some defensive mechanisms, and it has an auto heal. So as people from the ground, the infantry if you will, are doing damage to me, check this out. Hit the button, full health, but it has a rather lengthy cooldown. So you are on the ground. Make sure you focus this thing because they give it a little buff between when we played it and when this beta hits. This thing could absolutely be nasty, but it is on rails. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the Kamino gameplay. More than likely my favorite map that I played so far. It was an absolute blast. What do you guys think of the Star Wars Battlefront 2 beta footage you've seen so far? What's your favorite part? What's your least favorite part? And what do you think DICE needs to do better? Or do you think they've nailed? As always, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you guys soon.